So, this should be some cause for relief. There are only 3 kinds of notes. Now, in the last video, we discussed the intervallic system. And in this video, we're just going to categorize the 3 kinds of notes. In the next video, we'll talk about some of the small but very important differences between chords. But in this one, we're just going to be working from the perspective of a major chord. Now, there are chord tones, scale tones, and passing tones. That's all the notes there are, really. So in the chord tones, we're going to have in the major scale, first would be the root, the third and the fifth, and then the 7th. Now, in the scale tones, we're going to have all the notes in between, the 9, the 11, the 13. Remember, these are the 2, 4, and 6, same thing. And then the passing tones are going to be the notes that come in between the chord tones and the scale tones. Let me show you what I mean. So, in our G major chord, G would be the root. Then our third, this will be done with the index finger on the 2nd fret. Then our pinky on the 5th of the A. And we have root, 3rd, 5th. And then ring finger. That's going to be on the F sharp. This is the 7th. Another way you can do it is to start with your index finger. Play the 3rd with your pinky on the same string. And then your middle finger, or ring finger if you prefer, either way, on the 5th. And then the same note we did before on the 4th fret of the D string. That's our major 7. So we have this. And the previous. Couple ways of playing the same thing. Those were the chord tones. Now, the scale tones are going to be the notes in between. So, instead of the root, we're going to have the 9. Instead of the 3rd, we're going to have the 4th, the 11, and then the 13. Some of you may already know or be noticing that that is in fact a minor triad. That would be for another lesson. For now, it's the 9, 11, and 13. Another way you could play that would be, or I put my pinky on the 7th fret of the A string. So we have chord tone, scale tone, chord tone, scale tone, chord, scale, chord, and chord. You notice that we had been alternating up until the end, where we went from the 7th back, starting over to the root. Now our passing tones will be the notes in between the chord and scale tones. So before we had G, then we know what comes next in the major scale. It's the 9. And in between that we have, that would be our flat 9. Let's just walk through all the chord tones, scale tones, and passing tones. This you'll see is, in fact, the chromatic scale. Okay? G, that's our root. Upper fret we have flat 9. And then the 9. Flat 3rd. This is sometimes called the sharp 9. It's the same thing. Then we have our 3rd. Can also be played here. Then we have the 11, sharp 11. This also can be called the flat 5, same thing. Then we have 5th, sharp 5, 6th, which can also be played here. Then we have our flat 7, and then our 7, and then our octave, which is the root again. Now, something important to point out, the 4th, okay? It is a scale tone in the G major scale. However, it clashes with the 3rd. That's why a lot of people, they actually consider the sharp 4, which would normally be a passing tone, to be, in fact, a scale tone. Now, this is something called Lydian. There could be a large explanation, but the short answer is that it sounds good. The long answer is that there's only a half-step distance between the third and the fourth, you see. So acoustically, they're so close together that when played on top of each other, they sound dissonant. So you could think of it like you are the third, okay? Now, you're the breadwinner, you got your name on the lease of the chord, and your roommate is the fourth, and that's legitimate. It's from the same scale, it's got the same roots, so to speak. He's like your bro, but still, there's a sheet going through the room, you know, and you got to live this way. So what's going to be better off for both you and the fourth is if he gets his own sharp looking room.